Hey guys, I have Maizy here, who is a 7-month-old Bernese Mountain Dog, and she's a pretty nervous gal. So her owner was explaining to us that, especially as a puppy and everything like that, like just taking her out to go to the bathroom was not happening. She would just dodge and drag to get back to the house. They've made progress, but she's still like afraid of her owner doing the dishes. She hears clanking and she's putting herself into a corner. She's just a really nervy gal. But with that being said, she's 7 months old. So I'm already getting like, she literally just got dropped off 5 minutes ago, and I can already tell that she has such potential to come out of this. So when we have a dog that we're working with that's had years and years and years of practice, and not practice, kind of, but like experiencing a fearful state, it is so much harder to get them more comfortable around their environment and their settings and everything like that versus a 7-month-old puppy. So thank goodness her owner was super proactive, noticed it immediately, started doing work with her for sure, like has been working on it. But again, when you're too close to the situation, you need some help. So I want to show you, I'm starting with all 6-foot slip lead work with her, and I'm going to be using tone immediately. She walks on a Hermspringer prong collar back home, and that is the only tool that has helped her and her owner be able to actually get out and go for walks. So nothing else worked for them from a standpoint of like her just dragging back to the house. It was the only clear tool that they were able to use to get that really clear pressure and release of pressure. So I'm gonna get to work with her, and again, just working on introducing tone. I will probably start introducing low stim as well, and I'll let you know when I do that. But this is a perfect example of if you want to start to introduce your dog to the follow with the use of tone and just the 6-foot leash versus going right into like the long line work that I do as well. This will give you a good example of how I do that. Keep it in mind, you can also do this with a prong collar. So when you see the dog go ahead of me and I'm going easy with my tone, there I would just give a little bit of leash pressure on the prong if I was just using leash and prong for this. But we're an e-collar program, so we start introducing that tone function and pretty much a stim on day 1. So let's bring you guys along for it. So one thing I think that is going to help a lot in this process with Maizy in the beginning is her owner has already started to do a lot of follow work with her. So there is name recognition there, which is awesome. So I'm hoping that that's going to help in this process of getting her to adapt to a new person, a new body language that I'm giving, a new tool of introducing the tone. So we'll just see how she does. Ready, Mia? I'm waiting for her to kind of get ahead of me. Maizy, good, good. Tone, she looks my way or body turns my way. Mark it with good and really invite her body language. Maizy, Maizy, good. That's good. Maizy, good. Just tone here. Good. Good. Sometimes I start throwing tone towards me. Good. Maizy. Good. Good. Maizy. This is fun. Maizy. Oh, this is good. Maizy, good. Good mama. Maizy, body language, good. Little leash. Good man. Good man. Good man. Maizy, stim stim. Good. Maizy, good. So if the dog starts lingering for too long ahead of me, I throw stim stim in there. Maizy, right there. Good, especially if you're going forward to the other dogs. Good girl. Easy. I'm at a 4 out of 100, so when I say I'm using stim, that's what I'm currently at with her. Easy. Good. Good girl. Good job, mama. Easy. Good. Easy. Good. Easy. You have to start to find experiences where the dog will get kind of disconnected as well. Good. Easy. Good. Good. find when you're doing this, especially in the beginning, that this, Maizy, just the tone, for especially a puppy or a disconnected dog or an aroused dog, will lose its value quicker than a follow through with a good, with a stim. That's why we teach that concept of pressure. Can you go potty, Mama? Let's go. See if you can do potties. Easy. But we're still going to use this as a training opportunity for the threshold. Easy. And do more potties. Easy. Good. Good girl. All right, we got our potties out. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of the tone follow work outside. So again, you're probably gonna notice when you start utilizing the stim, your number's higher outside. So right here, Maizy. Good, tone, stim. Good girl. Maizy. Good. Ahead of me, Maizy. That body of yours, you guys. Maizy. She's so used to being darty unless she's having management on the leash, which understandable. She lives in a city, so of course there's gonna be management on the leash. Maizy. Good. Maizy. Hi. Maizy. Notice how I'm starting to slow that gap down. She's so used to forward. At drop off, she's not like dragging, but she's guiding her owner everywhere. We want to have it be where we are the leader. Maizy. Good. I know that cameraman is scary. Good. I'm up at a 12 out of 100, you guys. I get a lot of questions of like, my dog's really starting to understand tone, but they just fling past me. So I'm gonna start slowing her down with that as well. Easy. Yeah. Good. She's so used to being a ping pong ball. Easy. Good. I'm using stim more in this slowing down process. Easy. Sit. Good. Tone. See? And you will have to go higher for certain dogs to slow that state of mind down. So again, the e-collar is a muscle stimulator, so sometimes you are going to see the movement. It's on a good muscle. So not that I want it to be where it's like every single time you're tapping the stim or something, your dog's head's like going like this. But if you're noticing that the number you're at isn't getting the clear communication you're looking for, and going up is what helps that and helps create that clarity, that's okay. Easy. I had to go up to a 17 at one point. I'm back down to a 10. So state of mind was heightened. I needed to slow her down. I could tell that she felt it. And then I came down once we slowed down. She's responding beautifully to that 10 right now. Anytime you hear my stim right after that. Good girl. Good. So right now what I'm doing, and I use this technique to teach heel all of the time, or at least teach that falling back, is I let the dog get ahead of me, Stim, tone, tone. Good. To create that movement back towards me. Nothing about this is heel yet, and I won't even get to that until a couple of days down the road, but this is going to start to shape that true follow, not micromanagement of the leash. Beautiful baby. That's good. Nothing there. Good. See how much less she's like bing bong, back and forth. Good. I don't know what bing bong means, but I saw it, so there we are. Still scared of that camera. We're still scared of that camera. We'll get there. We'll get there. Maizy, good girl. Good girl. Maizy, I'm so good. Yes, my girl. That's a good puppy. Start to practice some slowing and staying. Stay. I don't care if she's in an obedience command right now, so standing is perfectly fine. Stay. Good. Just starting to introduce our language to her. Good. I'll let you guys know. There, shush tap, I did not use the stem, just because it was such small movement. And down the road I will, but again, she just got here. Good. That's very good. Can you practice moving around her? Use the camera as a distraction. Okay. Good. What I'm doing right now is marking every time she's looking at me with a good, but I'm also going to hold her accountable for staying here. Good. That's the biggest thing with these nervous dogs, is they learn that fleeing works for them. Even if they're on a leash and like they're not actually getting away from us, her dictating body movement of trying to get away from everything, and S'mores is a prime example of this, is he's just practiced it and patterned it for so long that it's going to take a lot more for us to get through to him. With her, she's practiced it for 7 months because you're still a baby. So we'll be able to start to introduce that, like, staying in a vicinity isn't scary. We are going to make sure that bubble around you is safe. We're not going to let anyone come and touch you if you're uncomfortable. We're not going to let other dogs run up to you. We're not going to put too much pressure on you that you can't handle. We're going to help you down the road learn how to be exposed to it, because we have to add in some stressors for our dogs to overcome these things. If we're constantly trying to keep them in that bubble and hide them from it, they're not going to overcome it. But we want to do it in a way that's always fair to the dog, clear to the dog, and beneficial. Good girl. That's a good choice. Beautiful baby. Beautiful baby. Break. She doesn't know what that means yet, so we're starting to introduce that. Look at how me's slowing down now. Very good. She just naturally does it with me now because of that foundational information I just taught her. Let's see what me turning. I'll put tone. Easy. Good. That's good. Perfect example is when you start just grooving and moving with the dog, see what they start to offer you naturally. There was a perfect example. We were together, I stopped and turned. Good. That time I didn't need to use it because she was there. So I just really, when I'm working with the dog, especially my first session, yes, I know I want to introduce follow, but like where it goes and how we do it, the dog will show me. Right, baby? Maizy. It's good. It's good. So good. You're gonna work with that scary man too. He's so scary. He's so scary. Maizy. Look, same thing. Every dog, you guys, it is with every dog. Good. Some are just so smart. Good. This is also a really great spot to start to make, oh, your hair, break super clear, because they want to come through the doorway, or it's just something that it's like, I do walk through the doorways. I know what that concept is. So I really like to utilize my break on the first session here at any threshold, kennel or this. Good girl. And then come this way. Easy. Good. 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 Good girl. Barely had to use leash there. Beautiful. Good. Good, good. Yep, exactly. Good. That's good. Good girl. A dog who tends to run on the nervous side, but also like is so sweet and like really not looking to cause trouble, like her, is usually a little bit timid about the release word. Not timid in a way of like, that scares me, but like, are you sure? Yes, we gotta create clarity around that just as much as like our commands and our movement, because she is a dog, and her owner even said this, where it's like, she is not looking for trouble. Like, she's genuinely like a kind dog, and I immediately see that in her, where she's like, I want to be well, I just don't totally know how to yet, and I'm like really scared of things. So you're going to notice that when you're working with dogs like this, that they tend to just need a little bit more feedback and clarity in a very like, here's what we're doing way. Like, here's the puzzle pieces, let's put them together. I say the same kind of thing with my aroused and reactive dogs, just they come with intensity. They need it to slow down, of like clarity with slowing down. They need it of like clarity with movement. So I have to like put my body into it when I'm working with both of those types of dogs, just in different ways. I have to come off a little bit more like structured and authoritative with the reactive space, and then very like, that's my good girl with the more nervous type dogs. Do that. Good. Maizy, break. Good girl, beautiful. Okay. All right, we're gonna work on a little bit of kennel stuff and then give her a break to decompress. Good girl. Let's do some kennel work, man. Can we work a little before we play? Okay, all right, cool. All right, guys, so we just came in from doing some follow work with Miss Maizy, and now I want to use that concept. I'm actually really happy to see that we're getting some of this like, hey, like, make it all about me type stuff. That's how a 7-month-old puppy should act, so it's really good to see that she's warming up so quickly to us. So I want to use the concept of what we just did outside of the tone follow through with a little bit of that stim when needed for some of the kennel work, and then I'm going to teach that same sort of boundary at the door of the kennel as we do at the door going outside. So, Maizy, let's go. And I'm going to point, kennel. Good. 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 Good girl. That's good. We tricked ourselves. We tricked ourselves. Good. Kennel. Little leash. Good. Stop my tone once she gets in. I will eventually start to add a little bit of like stim if needed, if that slight bit of leash pressure didn't help her, but she's doing a beautiful job. Notice how when she came out and she tripped, like her foot got a little caught, she was kind of like this, and I didn't go like, oh, it's okay, honey, it's okay, honey. I was like, oh, let's go, like, let's keep going. Because if I coddle all of those responses, we're gonna get more of that kind of state of mind. Same thing with your dog, if they're like losing their mind, like barking at things, and you're like, it's okay, you're going to start to cultivate more of that behavior, not because necessarily that they're like, oh, I need to bark at this because that's what my owner's telling me to do. That's our very human way of thinking it. But it's like we are soothing a state of mind. We are cultivating more of that. So give the energy you want to guide your dog through situations. So there I wanted to show her, not a big deal. Let's keep going. And she was like, oh, okay. She bounced back much quicker if I would have been coddled her. Same thing with fear, reactivity, all that good stuff. All that not good stuff, but you know what I mean. Same.
That's good. Wow. Good.
I use my momentum here a little bit when I'm starting to do amazing kennel stuff. Kennel. I kind of do a lot of like going in, going out pretty quickly.
Good. Good. Good.
Bye-bye. Good. Freak. That's good. Momentum, turn, tone, easy. Easy. Good. Kennel. Good. Notice how that leash pressure is almost non-existent at this point. I'm just holding onto the leash, obviously, because she just got here. Good. And if you need it. Bye. Good. I always practice dropping the leash on my first session with the dog. Again, always know the dog you're working with. If she was aggressive, had any sort of those tendencies, I would not be putting my arm in her crate and untangling her. Probably wouldn't be dropping the leash. I wouldn't be like handling her as much. So always keep that in mind when you're watching my work and utilizing it to apply. Know your dog, okay? That's always super, super important. I'm just showing you how I'm addressing and working with each dog as an individual when they're here with us. Good. Picking up the leash, non-invitation, bust out. Good girl. I'm at a 7 out of 100. So it was a shush, tap, took a step towards her, she turned back up, shush, tap, took a step towards her, and she went fully in. I'm not concerned about the head right now. If I wanted to clean that up, I would probably just do this, where it's like she has to back away, but she's giving him such great effort. Good girl, mama. That's good. Yay. Easy. Good. Easy. Hello. Good. Her owner uses the kennel at home. She's kennel trained. So when we first probably started working with her in this, she's nervous of big dogs. We've got her next to the 2 biggest dogs because this is where our big crates are. And it's a new setting and a new person. So she's probably a little bit like, this feels unfamiliar to me, but she's doing a beautiful job. Good. That's why I like to make sure I do an actual kennel session with dogs on day 1, is because I want the momentum and the comfortability, good, of going in and out to be there on their first session. So it's not just like I'm using all of my leash pressure to get you in and then shut the door and let you decompress from there. Even if she is calm and quiet in the crate, I want to get that routine of going in, patience coming out, and I'll eventually slow her down with going in as well. But I need a little bit of that momentum with her right now. If it was a dog that was like trying to fling itself in, I would slow them down, but I need a little bit of movement for her. So again, the dog in front of you. Good girl. Beautiful, babe. Maizy. This is a sticky point right there. Good. Hello. Good. So next time I come around like that, I'm now seeing every time we get over to that edge, she'd rather stay out and hang out with us or, you know, whatever, versus coming over to this area that makes her feel a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to be prepared with my tone, stim on that part. So I'm going to go up in my number a little bit because I was utilizing the stim not last time, but the time before, and that 7 just wasn't enough for her. Hi. Good. So going this way. Good girl. Tone, easy. Good. Much better. Hello. Good. Good. And anytime I'm doing something like that, keep in mind, I do this day in and day out. So like knowing that that's what I needed there is from years of experience of doing this. This is not just like, you know, I just know it's going to work just for this dog. No, this is something where it's like, I know how to work through a lot of sticky points with dogs. So keep in mind, if you don't get the response you're looking for the first time you try something new, try it again. You're not a dog trainer, and you're probably working really hard to be that for your dog, which is awesome, but give yourself some grace just as much as your dog needs it, because what we accomplish in 2-3 weeks is a lot, and I would not expect owners to accomplish as much as we do in that short amount of time. That's why it's so important that there is consistency when the dog goes home, because we're teaching so much in a small pocket of time. So give yourself a break if you're not getting that immediate response that you see me get with some of the dogs. Other dogs, it's like, okay, this is going to take a while, but I've got a 7-month-old dog that's a sponge and ready to learn. She's probably going to give me some things quicker than, our older dogs. Keep that in mind. So I know it's easy to get caught in that comparison game of even watching trainers do it. Makes you want to be like, well, why can't I get that quicker result? Because it takes practice. You got to learn it just as much as your dog needs to. Good. If you guys watch my stories, you've seen that I'm super into fitness and lifting and stuff now. If you watch my first squat that I tried with a barbell, it's laughable. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. My form was terrible. The weight was super low, but it was new to me. I had to practice, show up every single day, and keep practicing, and I'm still working on it. Good. Same thing with dog training. They go hand in hand so much. Good girl. Hey, girl. That's a cute girl. Oh, I'm gonna have a cute aggression with you. Maizy. Good. Hello. Good. I am just using tone here with her because it's me pointing and the body guidance and the tone is helping her plenty. If we got to that sticky point, I would go to my stim. I am definitely using stim if she goes to step out without permission. Good. Again, not concerned about the head right now. The tail is adorable. Good. I love your crimped ears. Good. Good. See how quick I was to catch that? Good girl, especially knowing that I don't have the leash in my hand if she were to get like flighty. I saw that paw come out. Shush, tap, spatial pressure. Good. See you later, Maizy. Bye-bye. Good girl. Smart dog. Bye-bye, Maizy. Have fun. Okay, the place is yours. Do whatever you want. Bye-bye. Good. Good girl. I'm going to use my spatial pressure a little bit to see if I can get her to just like settle into it a little bit. Good. That was all just shush and energy towards the dog. Good. Good. Caught herself there. And I can go back to this if I want. Good. Don't be in a hurry with that kind of stuff. I see a lot of owners, if they're asking their dog for a sit, and they're like, I know my dog knows it. Like, I know they know how to respond to this. And they immediately want to ask for it again. Like, give the dog a second. And then if I needed to give more pressure, whether that's just spatial or pick up the leash to kind of, or shut the door for her head to go in, I could have done that. But you've got to take a step back and give the dog time to process what you are trying to teach them. I'm going to do a couple more with her, get her some water, and let her chill out for a bit. Good. Actually, this will be fun. Let's switch. I'll be the camera handler in case he's going to be the dog handler. I always like to get him to work with the dog on day one, especially if they're more nervy, and especially if they're more nervy around men. So I want to just have you guys go in and out, and I'll kill it with the video. Good girl.
Hey guys, Casey from KANE9 here, and I am here to basically work with Maizy. I have not touched the leash with her. She just got here. Caitlin's done all the work so far. And so we're just going to do a few more things kennel drill wise, and then we're going to let her chill for a little while. But I'm just going to go over there, pick up the leash, and see what we do. Obviously Caitlin's started working this stuff with her already, so I'll just kind of be reinforcement. little bit more shy with me because she doesn't know me, but we're gonna get there. Hello. Good girl. Break. Good. Maizy. Go. So right there I saw that she was kind of fixated on Kate a little bit. She just knows her better. She's not as comfortable with me, so I just kind of provided tone to guide her back into the kennel. Good. Bye. Good. Break. Bye. Hi. Okay. Maizy. Maizy. Good. Come on. Good girl. I'm not as fluid with this stuff as Kate is. She's number one. But I have taken a few notes throughout the years, and I do know a little bit. But for the most part, I think she's pretty much zonked out from this whole session. So I'm gonna drop the leash, walk away, see if she follows me. If she doesn't, we're good to go. We'll take her stuff off, and we're gonna let her chill for a while.